the way this guy Archaics was able to come up with the next Phoenix, which is coming in 2040, from all the historical records that have passed, the last four events in history, was that he takes two similar events that has happened in our history. So what he did is he took the Civil War, which was in 1776, I believe, and then he took the Revolutionary War, which is the other major war here in the United States and the Americas, two similar events. And then what you do is you subtract the years between the two. And I believe it was 68 years. But then what you do is, if you understand, we have a phi ratio and we have a Fibonacci. All he did was he took the 68 years and he times it by 3.14, which gave him 2040 exactly. So if you understand anything about cycles, if you understand anything about the phi and the Fibonacci and the crystal line and the Fibonacci line and things of that nature, the different templates of, how this universe, because we're on different templates of realms and dimensions all at the same time, he uses pure mathematics to show you when the next cataclysm is. So there's another concrete piece of evidence, not only scientific now, not only historical, but mathematical. And when it comes to math never lies, because this is how things are created. So that was the point.
That's some crazy stuff, man. But it makes sense, because if he's proven it with facts, scientific facts, numbers, like you said, don't lie. All you have to do is do the math. Then there's nothing woo-woo or mysterious about the future or predicting the future, because all you have to do is do the math. It's measuring its cycles. A lot of people think the time is linear, and it's not. It's cyclical. It's a cycle, just like the hour, which actually came from the zodiac, the time, the
Of
day, the
course.
minutes. We have all kinds of cycles, from little ones all the way to big ones, from our own life. The cycles of 7, the cycles of 12, the cycles of 9. There's all kinds of cycles. And so if everything works in cycles, then, like the saying says, what goes around comes around. You know, it's a circle, it's a cycle. So this blew my mind, because you see, we were all raised with a different education, especially in school. And everything they say, like, once you become conscious, you're like, oh man, everything I learned is like completely upside down. If you cannot face that truth, that fact, you're gonna struggle a lot. I came from that. And then I started seeing all this truth, and then the whole world of opportunity just started opening, and wealth of knowledge. Real wealth is not physical stuff, man. I left all that behind, dude. I went through all of that. I had cars, I had an apartment, nothing fancy, but I had an apartment, I had a car. At one point, I had 2 cars, I had a bunch of debt, and I was not happy. Then I just left all of that behind. And it took courage, man, because in my mind, I was like, what is my family going to think? What is my friend going to think? All that. And then I was like, well, what do I think? What is it that I want? Then I followed that path. And as soon as I did it, everything changed. I started getting all this knowledge, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to put it out there. I just want to help as many people as I can. So, brother, I want you to, since we were talking about the simulation, right?
Mhm.
There's something that I learned over time that I tested it myself. And it is in regards to the sun, right? So if we live on a flat stationary plane, based on the model, that geocentric model, the north is in the center, the south is the outer ring, right?
Right.
So the sun follows the ecliptic, and then it has a cycle on the year, right? And so what it does, if you come from the ball model, you think that we are rotating in a ball around the sun, but it's actually the sun going around the earth. And so over the month of the years, the sun is kind of like a helix, I think is what it's called. I forgot what it's
It's
called.
it's analima.
The analema, exactly, the analema. And then it goes, when it goes to the south, is summer. And then in the center, the countries in towards the center is winter. And then once it crosses the equator, comes to the center, then it's winter in the south. And it
Correct.
goes up, and then it goes down like that, around, like that.
Spiral. Hmm.
So if the sun is giving us vitality, like, look, man, I'm growing my green onions here. Let me show you. I got green onions. I bought in the market.
That's beautiful.
You see
That's
what I did?
beautiful.
And you see how they're like twisted to the side? Because they follow the sun. I put it on the
Absolutely.
window every day, and you can see how plants follow the sun, and it's giving them life, and it's giving us life. So if that is, if it makes sense, then it makes sense to follow the sun. So I was looking at a map, and I was like, man, all these countries between the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, anywhere between those tropics is the best place to live because we're getting more vitality from the sun. What do you think about that? You want to elaborate on that?
You might have a point there. I'm always a true believer of where you're at is where you're at. But then again, when we research, we know that there's certain places geologically constructed that are just perfect places to be in. Like there's no denying it. You know what I mean? Wherever you're at, you're supposed to be there. It's part of your path. But like you're saying, being on those 2 points of tropics, yeah, you would absorb the sun when it comes and it pulls. Like let's say you're in the southern hemisphere and it makes its analemma. And going back to the analemma, that's where you get your figure eight. That's where you get your Ouroboros. That's where that comes into play. Why do you think Facebook went to Meta and it looks like a mat? It looks like an analemma. Like they're
Man,
right.
I can't stand Facebook, man. I really
Neither
cannot.
can I. I use it for what. But see, this is we'll talk about that too. Yeah, I'm not. I'm old school, but one thing I've understand that in the times that we're in, we have to assimilate with what's going on.
Hmm.
So machinery, robots, AI, these aren't bad things. It's just the ones who are programming and building them are. You see what I mean? Robots can be our friends because all they are is just a program. Everything goes back to they don't have any feelings. You see what I'm saying? They don't have any emotions. They don't have a motive. They're programmed to do a specific thing.
Yeah.
So no, but yeah, that's a good thought. I need to really think into that, but it would make sense because the sun, once it reaches its peak, you would receive that full blown. So I see where you're going with that. So yeah,
So,
there
like,
is there.
what is the human diet, like the true human diet?
So the true human diet, I don't even like to use the word diet because if you take the T off of it, it says die.
Well,
That's why all diets are failed.
that's a good one. I didn't know that one. That's a good point there. But okay, let's say
What's a
the
good way of eating?
good way of eating or food.
That's what I like to say because just to kind of beat the thing about diet, there's a million and one diets, and it doesn't work. I mean, they all have their goods and bad, but it's just natural. So the best way, what I recommend to people and what I do myself is alkaline foods. One biggest thing for me in my transition when I went plant based was I thought all fruits and vegetables were good to eat. You know what I mean? And then come to find out that it's not. Once I again started doing my research, there's certain things that are just acidic, and then there's certain things that are alkaline, and you want to eat things that are alkaline because that's life, that's energy. That's what you want. That's what you want to intake. So, for example, a lot of people think broccoli is good for them. A lot of people think carrots is good. Carrots is just starch. Broccoli was man-made in a lab somewhere in Germany. But you don't.
What? That's
No,
crazy.
absolutely. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, broccoli is it's man. So is cauliflower. It's
I
fake.
I heard Dr. Sebi talk about the carrots and that it's not good for you,
Yeah.
but I had no idea about the broccoli though.
Yeah, broccoli is man-made. It's not a natural plant that Mother Earth grew herself. And it's I say these to people and I come across nutritionists and I come across people who are vegan, people who have big platforms and this is what they're promoting and it's like you guys aren't promoting the truth. You see what I mean? So that's when it goes back to a person's intention. You can tear a tree by the fruit it bears. Are they really doing it to really help people be healthy or they're just doing it to be popular and doing what everybody else is saying because everybody else is saying eat carrots. Everybody else is saying eat broccoli. So, kind of getting off of that, I digress. But proper things you want to eat is just fruits and vegetables and knowing which ones to eat. And of course, herbs, nuts, stay away from almonds. Almonds have cyanide in them, completely bad for you. Don't let them trick you. Almonds are bad. Cashews are super bad. I actually did a video on cashews. Have you ever seen what a real cashew looks like?
No, I've seen like the one. It's not now you got me thinking because I do drink almond milk and cashew milk. I'm gonna have to do my research on that.
Do your research. So if anybody knows about cashews in South America, cashews are